Sure. Go ahead, Vikramji. Sorry to interrupt.
So a little bit about myself. I've spent about 17 years in the hotels, in the hospitality industries, and I started working with the Oberois. There are various ways to get into the hospitality industry. I started from the entry level. I started as a bartender, and then quite a few things happened, and I kept on getting promoted, and I spent my career mostly uh, uh, with a lot of prestigious brands like Oberois, Taj. These were the prestigious brands initially. I moved on working with Grand Hyatt. I worked in Middle East, in Dubai, in Kuwait. I spent some time on some projects in Bahrain, and that's when I came back. I started working with the Starwood Hotels, which is now Marriott Hotels, and then also I spent time with Leela's, which is a Ravi's hotel in Kovalam. So that was my last stint, and then the COVID came, and then the change of career path happened. So most of my time is spent in the food and beverage division of the hotels. Now, food and beverage is a very wide division where you have a lot of outlets, a lot of business platforms are there, and like you have restaurants, you have bars, you have banquet, you have meeting conventions, and there are a lot of management roles that you play in managing these outlets. And yes, you keep a focus on your F&B trends, and then you drive your business. So as you all are stepping into the hotel management, I'll talk about how I started my hotel management career. So I was supposed to be a chef, actually. I was supposed to work in the kitchen. So I was very interested in that, and I was very good at that. Initially, I realized that my skills in the kitchen, as a feedback from my professors in the college. So I was supposed to be a chef. So I spent my first year working towards chef competitions. There's a very prestigious chef competition which happened in hotel management, where all the hotel management across India, they participate, and that's the competition that happened. So whole of my first year I spent in being a chef. And in the second year, when the selection happened, somebody else was given the chance. And that was a stint when I decided, it's not the F&B production. I will join F&B service as my career. So I started my further training with my professor of F&B service, and I changed from F&B production, which is being a chef, to a manager, to a F&B service division. And then from there started, the whole change in the career path. And I moved on to F&B service. And so my interviews and my openings deviated towards the F&B service side. So that was a key pointer which happened in the college, where as per my knowledge, or as per my ego, or as per my skills at that time, when I realized, I changed my career path from being a chef to F&B service, which I've been following until now for the 17 years. So I take it as a very key pointer, because now I realize that if somebody would have had given me a guidance, things would have been different. However, I don't regret it, but yes, there is a slight difference which I will come to. Okay. Moving on to basics of a hotel. Hotel is a very big business unit, which has different departments in the hotel. And we'll talk a little bit about the departments. One of the departments is called front office, which deals with the reservations. Now, front office deals mostly with the accommodation operation, which is the rooms operations. So they have a reservation department which takes care of blocking of the rooms, getting the rooms ready before the arrival of the guest, and that is the reservation department. And then you have a front desk. They take care of spa in the hotel if there is one. and the gymnasium. The business center and executive lounges also is taken care by the front office department. So that's a front office department, one of the career path that you can choose to go to. Next is the accommodation operations, which is basically housekeeping part of it, where housekeeping takes care basically the cleanliness of the hotel. So they deal mostly with the rooms, because rooms is the biggest product in a hotel, or one of the biggest product in the hotel. And so they take care of the operations part of the rooms, to get the rooms ready and get them ready for the sale, or for the occupation, or before the arrival of the guests, get them ready. And yes, another part is the public area cleanliness. The back areas of the hotel has two areas. One is the front area, one is the back area. So back area is taken care by the stewarding department, which is run by the F&B service side, and the front areas are taken care by the housekeeping department. So housekeeping department takes care of, let's say, the port part of it, the lobby part of it, swimming pool side, the parking areas. All these cleanliness is taken care by the housekeeping department. And then, yes, the rooms part of it, cleanliness of the room, the linen. Then another division of accommodation housekeeping is the laundry. Now, laundry is again a very big department where you have all the linen of the hotel. Now, linen comprises the laundry of the guests, linen used in the operations, in the rooms, in the restaurants. All that is processed in the laundry. So this is one department, housekeeping. You can choose as one of your careers. Very important department, sales and marketing, selling of your hotel products. Now, hotel has majorly two products, which is the rooms, food and beverage, and yes, entertainment. Entertainment mostly falls in the food and beverage department. So these are the products which sales sells through the marketing. There are different channels, different ways of doing the marketing of these products. But yes, they have a lot of pressure, in meeting the revenues, meeting the budgets, making money for the hotel. And yes, they are the first interface, or the first person whom the guest meets. So sales and marketing is another very key important department of the hotel. Next is finance. All the money coming in the hotel, the credits, the debts, the whole hotel belongs to finance in terms of assets and the operating equipment inside the hotel. Operating equipment means everything that exists in the hotel: the machines, the linen, the furniture, electronics in the hotel. Everything is an asset. So all that control, all that falls under finance. They do the inventory that, yes, these all are the products that we have are in working condition. They take care of the depreciation, their replacement, whether we have money for that, or whatever incoming expenses, they make sure that money is available for it. And then is the purchase of all the supplies of the hotel is taken care by purchase department. Now, there are different ways and set of standards which the purchase department follows. They make sure they call for different quotations, make sure the best quality is available at the best price. Then the stores and the supplies. Now imagine the size of the hotel. There was one of the hotels which I was working in. It was Grand Hyatt Hotel in Mumbai. It has 547 rooms and 147 apartments. So overall, close to 700 rooms. And it had 4 restaurants. It had 1 bar, 1 executive lounge. It had a banquet hall of about 35,000 square feet. It had 6 another banquet areas. So this magnitude, this size of the hotel, and it's all store and supplies are controlled, or it's looked after in one place, which is stores department. That is taken care by the finance again. So all these are major departments, major sub-departments, which falls under the control of the finance department. And of course, the billing of the guest, all the guests who comes to the rooms, to the restaurants, all billing is again taken care by the finance department. Any questions so far? Anyone has any questions to ask?
So I have a few questions, but maybe, I'll wait till the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it good so far?
Yes,
With all-
sir. Excellent.
Okay, then moving on to the heart of the hotels, which is food and beverage department. Now, food and beverage department, which was my core department, and I was heading this division in all the hotels that I worked. The best or the largest size of food and beverage which I worked was a Pullman and Novotel hotel in Delhi. So it was a combination of two hotels actually. It was a Novotel, which was a 400-room hotel, and a Pullman brand of hotel, which was 280 rooms hotel. So again, close to about 600, about 700 rooms. And then it had 13 banquet halls, or the meeting rooms, you can say. Total banqueting area was about 1 lakh square feet. Our largest banquet hall was about 50 to 55,000 square feet. And then you had restaurants, specialty restaurants, your executive lounges, you had in-room dining. It's a very large scale of food and beverage it was. So there I was taking care of the F&B service part. So food and beverage is basically divided into two divisions. One is food and beverage service, and one is food and beverage production. So in a simple term, you can say food production is all the chefs team. All the chefs in the hotel who cook the food, who prepare the food, or who take the admin part of the food production. That is the chefs team. F&B service is an area which work with the service or the execution of food and beverage. And then another key department which falls under food production is the stewarding department. Stewarding departments are the ones which you can say is like a housekeeping department for the hotel. Stewarding is for the food production department. So stewarding department takes care of the cleanliness of all the F&B outlets. F&B outlets, when I say, it means the restaurants, the bar, the in-room dining. They take care of the cleanliness of the kitchen. And then another very important role which stewarding plays is the controls and taking care of the operating equipment of the food and beverage. So when I say operating equipment, it means all the crockery, cutlery, the glassware, all the machines in the food production. These are all taken care by the stewarding department. Now, when I say, it looks very simple when you say the crockery, cutlery, and the glassware, but let me tell you, this is the most expensive item in food and beverage department. So you will have a plate which will cost you about 700 rupees, and then there are thousands of plates in the F&B department, and different kinds for different restaurants. Now, let's say one restaurant will have no less than 8 to 10 types of plates which are used in the F&B service. Every plate will cost you in the range between, let's say, 400 to 600 rupees. So this is the one outlet's inventory of the plates, only the flatware that we're talking about. Then there are glasswares. Then there are different kind of cutleries. Now, this is the stock that they keep for running the operations, as well as some is stored because most of these items are imported. So all these are stored with the stewarding department. Then there are different kind of glassware. There are minimum 15 to 20, minimum I'm saying, 15 to 20 type of glasswares which are used in the restaurant. Now, all the different restaurants will have different glasswares. Banqueting will have a different scale and the size of the inventories. So stewarding we take as a very is a backbone of operations of food and beverage department. So again, coming back to same two divisions, F&B service and F&B production. And then for our operations, we connect with rest of the divisions that we spoke about, like front office we deal with, finance we deal with the purchase departments for our inventories, for our beverages, all the supplies of the food which comes through purchase department, they're stored in the stores, inventories of it. Yes, so these are the basics, two divisions. Then rest we work with the rest of the departments of the hotels. So that's one of the career line of food and beverage in the hotels.
So Vikramji, at this stage, I have one question. So out of
Yeah.
all these departments that you talked about,
Yeah.
now for the students who are currently doing their hospitality management BHM course, most of them,
Right.
when they want to get into the hotel industry, so the first question is, what are the things that they should consider before accepting an offer, on what kind of hotels that they should select? That is the first question. Or hotels or any other area of hospitality. The second question is, out of all these departments that you mentioned, I'm sure like for example finance possibly, and I'm not very sure, but possibly finance is something which is for somebody coming from the finance domain
Background, correct.
background.
Yes.
So what are the areas where the students of our BHM can get into? And then if they really want to get into the bigger hotels where they can make a good career,
Mhm.
and what are the preparation that they should start doing from at this stage in terms of their additional study that they can do, or anything other than what they're currently going through in their course that they can help them get into a bigger brand.
Okay, I get your point. So like so far the department that we have spoken about, these are again major operation
So I
departments
think
in the
you
hotel. Yeah, can you hear me? Is it, are we connected?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We
So
can
so
hear you.
all these departments that we have spoken in the hotel, of the hotels, majorly the hotel management colleges, they prepare you uh, uh, with the basics of these departments. So eventually, whatever you're studying at the moment, theoretical studies will be connected to these departments eventually. Uh, like first in the first slide, there was a quote that I put in. This says, "Begin with the end in your mind." So this will be the end that you will be reaching to. Coming back to what you're studying currently, in your colleges, are the very basics and very generals of the hospitality industry. Now, which career you should pick up, which department you should pick up, whether you should become a chef, whether you should become a manager, whether you should be working in front office department or the housekeeping department, that completely depends on your interest. That completely depends on how aware of yourself you are. Like I said, initially I was very interested working in the kitchen side. So I used to be a chef. I always, foresaw myself as becoming a chef. So I was always in the kitchens. I was working with different cuisines. I was working with different seniors of mine in the college. So like in our college, basic infra format that we had is we, as a first year, you learn the basics in your kitchen department, and then the second year in the F&B side, uh, there is one set of team which serves the food to the whole college. So we had about, let's say, 300 students in our college. So in the second year, one set of team prepares the food for the whole college, and second set of the team serves it to the students. So again, you're playing both the roles of food and beverage service and the production. Then in the third year of the of my college used to be ATK. We used to call it ATK, called Advanced Training Kitchen, which was like working formally in a restaurant. So you will have a menu. You can order it from your first course, second course, third course. You can order your beverages, and it used to be served in a restaurant kind of environment in the college. So again, two teams of the third year, they take care of the service, and then they take care of the food production, of the menu, of the dishes preparations. So again, you play, you do, it's like a role play that you do. And again, that role play depends what you want to choose. You can choose to serve the food and beverage, or you can choose to cook the food and beverage. So eventually what you would want to choose will completely depend on your interests. But my advice to the new students will be, what may, initially might look very easy is food and beverage service side. And, it looks like being in kitchen is working in a very hot environment. It's a very high pressure job. But trust me, being a chef is a skill job. There's an additional skill that you learn. Being a manager of a restaurant or being a manager of a business, anybody can be a manager. You can manage different aspects of a business, of a, let's say, a restaurant or an outlet or a bar. But when you become a chef, you become a skilled person. Now that skill you will keep on refining with you as you work in different different restaurants or different countries or different hotels. That skill will always remain with you. So that is your personal asset that you build. So my recommendation, yes, if you want to go into food and beverage side, then it is good, or it is recommended that you pick up a skill of becoming a chef. And the rest is up to you. I mean, there is no hard and fast rule, I would say, or it's completely your interest. I mean, there are great instances where people have excelled in completely different field. I mean, I think I did quite well in food and beverage service side. But yes, at my heart, I feel, I should have taken up a skilled job like becoming a chef. So completely depends on your interest, what you would want to do.
Thank you. Very insightful, Vikram. The other question that, we had from the students was that what kind of, how should they select the kind of brand or the kind of hotel that they want to get into? I mean, many a times they are also getting offers from the smaller places, like pizza.
So what happens is when you are in your college, you get into theoretical studies of all the food and beverage. If I'm talking about food and beverage side, you will learn about all the different cuisines. You learn about different beverages. Beverages is again a very wide subject. You learn about wines. You learn about different Scotch whiskies, different rum, vodkas. And then there are different set of study which is based on the kind of water. There is sparkling water, there is still water, there are different brands. There are different brands which are imported from different countries. So all these brands and, how the making of whiskey, the making of wine, the making of vodka, cognacs, champagnes. So these you will learn, you will study, you will read about in your college, in your second and third year. It depends how your subjects are allocated. So once you've learned all these things, basically when you go for an interview or, initial job application in any of the industry, be it a quick service restaurant or, cruise lines or hotel, they will expect you to be knowledgeable about the basics, these basics that we have, which are, theoretically taught in your colleges. Be very, very good at that. I would say be extremely good at that. When I was in my college days, when I used to face my basic interviews, of course, in all the campuses, they expected us to know about different cuisines, different meats, different cheese, different wines. Trust me, I was very, very good at it. I knew hundreds of wines. I knew hundreds of whiskeys. If somebody asked me, tell me, let's say 5 Scotch whiskeys, I will tell them 10. Somebody says, tell me about 6 brands of champagnes. I knew hundreds of brands of the champagnes of different regions of the France. So I was very good at what I was doing. And I was extremely interested, our group of students, when we were together, we used to have a competition among ourselves who knows, N brands of, let's say, wines, who knows about, let's say, 10 chicken dishes of French, this region of France. I was extremely good at what I was doing. So my recommendations to the students will be, whatever you are taught in your college, be very good at that. Be extremely good at that. Because when these guys, when they come for the interviews, what they are looking for is, are you good at what you're doing? And when they realize that, you have done extremely well, you have done you've shown a great interest in your college, be it your scores, be it your knowledge, be it additional knowledge of your industry, you are very, very good at that. Trust me, any brand will pick you up. Then you don't have to look into whether a Hyatt brand is picking up, overall brand is picking you up, or whether you want to work, let's say, in X brand, they will pick you up. So this is what I will recommend. So be very good at what you're doing.
Excellent suggestion, Vikram. So we have a few more people who have some questions. So Sonali ji, you have a question, right? You can ask.
Yes, hello, Mr. Vikram. I'm Sonali. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Vikram, I have a question. If somebody is a designer, creative professional, what are the kind of job opportunities for that person in hospitality sector?
Sorry, once again, you mentioned designer.
Yeah, design or creative professional, any kind of a designer.
Okay. See, I would say if you're a designer, then what will the department that will fit to you is the housekeeping department. Okay. Now, housekeeping, when we look at, generally people look at that housekeeping is only related to cleanliness. Now, it's not only the cleanliness that you work upon, but cleanliness also has a design. Every room has a design. There are, I would say, there are different, the upkeep of, let's say, a lobby area, which is the most prominent area for the housekeeping department. There are different flower arrangements, there are different color schemes that they work with, there are different kind of linens that they work with in the rooms, in the lobby, in the restaurants. So, and also there comes a time, for the restaurants and for the hotels, where they change the scheme of look and feel of the hotel. The lobby area, they want to change the upholstery of all the furniture of, let's say, a restaurant or of the room. That's when the skill of, knowing the details or having a skill in the design department that will help. Because let's say when you're working with design, it's the color combination that will work in a different style of restaurant. For example, if you're working in a Asian cuisine restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, now a chef or F&B food and beverage manager or a finance department will not know as much as a housekeeping department will know the kind of color scheme in terms of linen, in terms of the wall, in terms of the painting that will work in an Asian cuisine restaurant. So yes, so these are the different long-term projects which the housekeeping works, and where I feel the skill of design will work out very, very well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vikram. Thank you.
I think Piyush has a question before we proceed with the presentation, because I think you'll have covered the presentation. Piyush, you can ask a question.
Thanks, Ashutosh. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Vikram ji. My question is actually most of the other industries, the recent trend is that they hire interns and then they watch them for 6 months, and then the ones they find suitable, they basically give them full-time employment. So right. My question is this also a trend in hospitality? And how can the students who are actually our students who are residing in sort of rural India, how can they find such opportunities for internship? Thank you.
This is what we are coming on in our next slides. The industries of the operations in food and beverage of the hospitality, where the limitations are self-created. So once you've done your basics of, let's say, what you're taught in your colleges, then you're ready to explore in the world. So the first and the foremost that I will we have obviously known as hotel and resorts. Now hotels are of different kinds. Hotels are business hotels which are located inside the city, and there are resorts which are out of the location of the major cities. There are hotels which specializes in big conventions. For example, Accor brand works majorly in terms of large scale conventions. So there are hotels which are designed to hold large exhibitions and conventions. And then comes the resorts. You've known about the resorts. Resorts can be a beachside resort. It could be a hill resort. So these are basic two divisions in the hotel. Then there are restaurants, banquet halls, the entertainment. By entertainment, again, there are nightclubs or the lounges are a different set. You can talk a lot about. This is again a different, completely different business model, I would say. And banquet halls, the conventions, the meetings, the exhibition, the social events, weddings. So this is again one field of this thing. Then another is airline. Now airlines again is one of the career avenues for the students of hotel management. Airlines in terms of the flight attendants, and also the people who are the first interface when you check into passengers come in touch with those. So airline is one in industry that hotel management students can get into. Cruise liners, again, we don't have cruise lines as a big industry in India, but there is a great demand of Indian students in cruise liners in the West. So a lot of students get into cruise liners. They go to Europe and they work there. It's a very exciting industry, and it's a very highly paid job, I would say. You get to save a lot there. You get paid in the foreign currency. So a lot of demand of the newly pass out of the colleges, because those are the kids who want to learn the most. So cruise liners is again a great career avenue, I would say. Then there are quick service restaurants. You have McDonald's, you have Pizza Hut. There are a lot of standalone Indian chains which are coming up with a lot of restaurants. So this is one of the openings are there for the hotel management students. Then there are large scale commercial industrial kitchens which happens. For example, you have large office of 15 to 2,000 people, and then they have cafeterias in. They have their cafeterias. They have their housekeeping department to take care of. So large scale industries and all the back end offices and the kitchen. What's the name of this? I'm forgetting the major brand who is into taking care of back end offices. Anyway, so this is one of the options. Then there are sales and the online operations which happens. For example, of we call them online travel agents, OTAs, for the rooms, for the travel. Then there are restaurants and the events that happen. So those sales, again, they prefer a lot of freshly passed out of the colleges, students who pass out from the colleges. Then there are traditional career paths which happen. There are two ways to get into hotel management. One is you get into hotel and or a restaurant. You work in a 5-star hotels. You most likely most of the students who don't get into the campuses into the colleges, they start from the entry levels in a restaurant. So you join as a waiter, or you join as a kitchen attendant, a basic chef or a housekeeping attendant. And as you graduate, as you learn about the business, as you learn about the work, you develop the skill set, then different hotels or different these companies, they have their management training programs. Now there are different set of management training programs they run. So if you're good at it and the yes company want to keep you for a long term, then they enroll you, these companies, these hotels, they will enroll you in a management training program. And that management training program is, there different hotels have it for different period of time. Generally it is of 2 to 4 year of the 2 to 4 years of program, where a student or a employee gets into different departments. Suppose food, I've joined in food and beverage and I've been picked up in a management training program. So I'll get to spend a certain period of time, 5 to 6 months, in all the departments of the hotel. So I'll get a good general overview now of the department. So these programs are basically run by the HR of the hotels. And it's a great program, you know, again, to relearn all your skills pertaining to that particular hotels. And you specialize in all the department then. Now this management training programs prepares you for a management level. First management level, let's say, is assistant manager level, and then you work an outlet in charge, outlet manager. And then you, as you work up, you become division head, division director, and, you know, hotel manager or regional manager of the hotel. So I basically started as a bartender, and when I passed out of my college, I was very good at beverages. Like I said, you know, knowing about different brands of beverages. So I was very good at it. So I was picked up as a bartender by Oberoi. And then very soon I was promoted to the next level of team leader with the Amar Vilas, again, a great resort in Agra. And when I moved to the city side, then I was again promoted as a catering assistant of an outlet. Then when I decided to work with the Hyatt, it was a new brand in Mumbai. And there I was promoted again to assistant manager level, and it kept on happening. So once a department, once a hotel, or they realize that you're good at your work, then you keep on getting promotions, periodically. So yes, initially you might have to start from a very basic level, and then you work your way up. Or the second way is you get selected as a management training program in your college itself. After passing out of the college, you straight away get into a management training program of the hotel, or a quick service restaurant chain, or a cruise liners, or different fields are there. So yeah, so these are the two ways to start after the college.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
Just looking at, I'm just not knowing much about how the hospitality management course runs. I'm looking at presentation being a very important, presentation and communication being a very important part of the hospitality industry, the way presentation is set up, the way you talk to customers. So does that get incorporated in the course? Or is it very basic? And for a student in the rural background, is there any extra upgrading they have to do in order to present themselves? Like, for example, even a chef from a hotel, when he or she comes to the restaurant table and presents themselves and explain themselves, there is a way in which they communicate. So is that something that they learn on the job, or is this something that they need to upgrade themselves before they get better scope to improve?
There might not be a focus on these soft skills in the colleges. And because when you're in college, you are just studying the basics of the hospitality industry. But yes, these, as you have learned all those theoretical knowledge, and when you get into your work, in your professional scenario, that's when these soft skills become very, very important. So that's what the next slide would talk about, is what you learn theoretically is one. The second set of things which will push you forward in your profession ahead is your basic communication. Communication, again, is a very, very wide subject. Now,
Yes.
if you're coming from a rural area, then I would say no, Hindi is one, yes, but English becomes very, very important. So your eloquence, how you speak, how you modulate your communication, you have clarity in communicating your ideas across becomes very, very important. Again, conflict management is something which we have put here because you work with different set of people, different ideas who have different ideas and thought processes of different departments whose priorities are different. So conflict management is very, very important because then you eventually that you work in a team and you work together, and you work with the customers who have a different set of ideas and thought process. Conflict management again is very, very important skill which will keep you afloat, let's say, in your business. Personality, again, if you're working in a front area like front office or in a restaurant, so personality, the way you appear, how you keep yourself well groomed, how you speak, again is a very important skill. Attitude, again, is the one which will keep you, which will give you direction, which will give you a large orientation. How self-aware of yourself you are, how you keep on correcting yourself, how you keep yourself, bringing back to the line, again, is very important. So that is your self-awareness. How motivated you are, because not everything will fall in your lap. Not everything will be, the results will not be as you would expect. So how you would keep yourself motivated and how you will keep yourself aligned to what you want to achieve is your attitude, which will keep you going. So soft skill again are very, very important. And I would say mentoring is something which eventually helps you a lot, because at one point of time you really get stuck with your ideas or your model, your strength, your own push that you can give it to yourself. So mentoring is something which can bring you out of that matrix and can put you back again on a right track. So yes, soft skill is something which you might not learn very, very closely in the college, but a very, very important skill. And somebody who's coming from a rural area, I would say the exposure in the, for example, in the 5-star hotels or in a quick service restaurant, they might find it very, very different, because this is something which they have never seen. It's very mechanical, very transactional in the cities, or in a different areas of the world. So yes, sometimes it's a cultural shock that you get. It's a completely different culture that you have there. So yes, one should be prepared with these basics of English and eloquence, or having a knowledge of basics. I would say it's what will keep you afloat.
Thank you, sir. So what I understand is a lot of self-learning and extra learning on the part of students is also required for self.
Definitely, certainly, yes.
Thank you.
Now, this is how I would like to end. I wanted to be a chef in the beginning, and because I lacked an effective mentoring at that point of time, I realize that I should have chosen to become a chef, because that's a skill job, that a skill I would have had developed for 17 years or thus far, but that would have remained always with me. So I'll tell you a small incident which happened. I was in South Africa. We opened up a restaurant there, an Indian specialty restaurant in Johannesburg. Beautiful restaurant. We had a very expensive chef. We had very top-end operating equipment for the restaurants, but we went there on a business visa to open this restaurant, and the business visa is valid for 3 months. So 3 months we opened the restaurant, so we made it running. Then another 3 months we were supposed to again execute a different set of plan. And so our visas had to be renewed. Second time also we got it renewed. Now, third time when we wanted to apply for a work permit, I didn't get a work permit at that point of time because being the manager of the restaurant was not a skilled job in South Africa. Now the chef with me, his job was defined as a skilled job at that point of time. He got the visa, he got the work permit, I didn't get. So I had to stay back, although I was one of the key persons to, had that restaurant standing and up and running, but I could not go back to South Africa because I didn't get the visa because I was not a skilled person. Now, being a manager is really not a skilled person. So if I would have had chosen at that point of time, had I had a right mentoring when I was deciding to become a chef, and because of now I open and widely accepted that because of my ego, I didn't choose to become a chef and I became a manager. So yes, so I regret that, leaving that path of the skill. So I always choose a skill when you are in hotel management, and especially in food and beverage. If you are, then becoming a chef is becoming a skilled person. So that skill will always remain with you. So this will be my advice to all the students, especially if you are from a rural area. You might not have to. You don't really. I mean, it would not be a priority for you to develop your soft skills, which is your communications and all. If you have your cooking skills with you, you can still work out very, very well initially, or further in your career, and you can refine your skills of marketing and your communications maybe later on. So if you have a skill of, let's say, cooking, or knowing different cuisines, or getting a right dish onto a plate, now that skill will take you forward very, very faster than becoming a manager or working in a quick service restaurant at a waiter, or starting like that. So choose a skill initially, because skill will take you forward, and then rest of the things can be developed afterwards, or around it. So developing that skill will be the most important thing for the college students.
Thank you. Very nice. So, the students who are here, apart from the questions that we have raised for you, do you also have some questions? We have a number of students, around 6-7 students who are here. Do you want to ask any questions directly?
Anybody, Hindi, English, whichever language you prefer.
You speak in Hindi, you can speak in English, whatever language you want. These students are very shy.
अरे नहीं, मतलब डोंट बी शाय. मैं तो आपको ये बोलूंगा कि ये जान के चलो कि एक बार मैं आपकी तरह था. एवरी एक्सपर्ट वाज अ बिगिनर. इफ अगर मैं आज एक्सपर्ट हूँ इस अपनी फील्ड में, पर एक ऐसा भी टाइम था जब मैं एक बिगिनर था, जब मैं अपनी शुरुआत कर रहा था कॉलेज में. तो इस अगर हम सब यहाँ पर हैं तो यहाँ पर हम आपकी हेल्प करने के लिए, बट वो हेल्प आपको मांगनी होगी, वो हेल्प आपको पता होनी चाहिए कि आपको क्या हेल्प चाहिए. यहाँ पे सब लोग आपकी हेल्प करने के लिए तैयार हैं, बट आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि आप क्या चाहते हैं.
बिल्कुल. I think Kuldeep had unmuted. Kuldeep, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है विक्रम से?
Yes, sir.
बताइए कुलदीप.
सर मतलब कौन सा बेटर है, अपना बिजनेस या फिर कोई जॉब करना? अगर हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री में ज्यादा ग्रो करना है, मतलब वी हैव टू अर्न मोर, तो सर कैसे मतलब कर सकते हैं हम? देखो
कुलदीप, जो तुमने बोला ना, इवेंचुअली सारे बात की एक बात है कि आपको अर्न मोर करना है, पर मैं एक चीज बताना चाहता हूँ कि जो अर्निंग होता है ना, अर्निंग इज ऑलवेज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट. बात समझ में आई? जो भी हम काम करते हैं ना, वो उसमें आप जो भी आपको अर्निंग मिलती है वो हमेशा एक बाय प्रोडक्ट होता है, वो हमेशा सेकेंडरी होता है. जो प्राइमरी होता है ना, वो प्राइमरी आपका बेसिकली होता है स्किल. कोई काम आप कितनी अच्छी तरह से करते हैं कोई काम आप कितने अच्छी तरीके से करते हो, वो डिपेंड करता है कि वेदर इट इज योर ओन जॉब, आप कहीं पे जॉब करते हैं, या वो आपका खुद का बिजनेस है. तो मैं आपको ये रिकमेंड करूंगा कि बिजनेस में घुसने से पहले, बिकॉज कोई भी बिजनेस करना इतना आसान नहीं होता है, बिकॉज उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी होती हैं जो आप बिजनेस में घुसने के बाद सीखते हैं। तो किसी भी बिजनेस में अपना खुद का पैसा लगाने की बजाय आप एक बिजनेस में घुसें और वो बिजनेस को सबसे पहले अच्छी तरह सीखें। You getting my point? So once you learn that business, then you can, yes, get into something like starting your own or take chance with your own money, with your own investment. So मेरी रिकमेंडेशन ये रहेगी कि अर्निंग्स जो है, अर्निंग्स को हमेशा बाय प्रोडक्ट समझो, अपने स्किल और अपनी नॉलेज पे ज्यादा फोकस करो, बिकॉज स्किल और नॉलेज जितना बढ़ेगा, अर्निंग एज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट वो उससे दुगना आएगा। बट अपना स्किल डेवलप करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। और इनिशियली एकदम अपने खुद के बिजनेस में मत घुसो। पहले जो आप बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं, जो भी शुरू करना चाहते हैं, उसी के जैसा एक बिजनेस ढूंढो और उसमें काम करो, उसमें आप टाइम स्पेंड करो और उसमें वो बारीकियां सीखो जो वो बिजनेस को आगे बढ़ाएंगी। लोग बिजनेस में होटल मैनेजमेंट ग्रेजुएट या पढ़े लिखे लोग या एमबीए वहां से क्यों हायर करते हैं लोग? बिकॉज उनके खुद के प्रॉब्लम जो बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए जो वो सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं, उनमें उनको हेल्प की जरूरत है। तो वो क्या चीजें हैं जहां पे जाके वो रुक जाते हैं या वहां जाके जो फंस जाते हैं, वो सब चीजें जानना बहुत बहुत जरूरी है। तो अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट करने से पहले आप एक ऐसे बिजनेस में घुसो जो बिजनेस आप करना चाहते हैं और वहां से सब सीखो आप। कुलदीप, are you there?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
तो और अर्निंग को हमेशा बाय प्रोडक्ट समझना, ये बात हमेशा ध्यान रखना। अर्निंग इज नॉट प्राइमरी। अर्निंग कभी आपको आपकी अर्निंग कितनी आ सकती है आप खुद नहीं बिलीव कर सकते हो। Sometimes you cannot ask for, this is the earning that I want. But sometimes when you have developed a skill, you will not believe the kind of price that people are ready to pay if you have a particular skill. Suppose if you are an Indian chef, Indian chef has a great demand in Europe, in USA, and they're ready to pay anything. There are some chefs who are very highly refined, और ऐसा नहीं है कि बीइंग अ शेफ वो अपनी इंडियन कुजीन में जो हम अपने हमारे जो इंडियन कुजीन्स के जो अलग अलग मुगलाई कुजीन है, लखनवी कुजीन है, हैदराबादी कुजीन है, वो इसमें इतने बढ़िया, इतने माहिर है वो कि उनकी इतनी डिमांड है यूरोप में, यूएस में, कोई कितना भी प्राइस देने को तैयार है। तो ये जो शेफ जो डेवलप हुए हैं, जो इतने स्किल्ड बने हैं, वो इसलिए नहीं बने कि उन्होंने इतने पैसे पे फोकस किया कि मुझे इतना पैसा चाहिए तो मैं इतना स्किल डेवलप करूं। नहीं, उन्होंने अपना स्किल डेवलप किया है और उसके बाद जो लोग उनको प्राइस देने के लिए तैयार है, उनको खुद को बिलीव नहीं होता। सो मनी एंड अर्निंग इज ऑलवेज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट। आप अपनी स्किल और नॉलेज डेवलप करो, मनी एंड अर्निंग्स विल ऑलवेज फॉलो दैट। वो हमेशा हमेशा उसका रिजल्ट मिलता रहेगा।
Excellent. I think
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Kuldeep.
I think we'll take one last question. Manjula has one question. My question is regarding
I
being
have more question.
हाँ बोलो कुलदीप।
Yeah, please go ahead.
In hospital industry to learn more and more.
आवाज नहीं आ रही है आपकी।
Sir, which section is better to learn more in hospital industry, such
देखो,
as production or front office?
अभी कुलदीप देखो आप, हमने जो बात की, जैसे मैं खुद पहले शेफ बनना चाहता था पर मैं फिर मैनेजर बन गया बिकॉज मुझे मैनेजर ज्यादा अट्रैक्टिव लगा। बट इतने सालों के बाद मैं अभी रियलाइज करता हूँ, अभी मुझे ये लगता है कि मुझे शेफ बनना चाहिए था। वो इसलिए क्योंकि जो शेफ बनना है वो एक आप अपने आप में एक स्किल डेवलप करते हैं आप। एक जो शेफ है, जो शेफ का स्किल है, वो एज अ मैनेजर मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ। बट जो शेफ है उसका जो स्किल है, उसका जो कुकिंग स्किल है, वो करने के अलावा वो एज अ मैनेजर भी काम कर सकता है। तो अगर आपका इंटरेस्ट अगर फ्रंट ऑफिस में है या F&B सर्विस में है, मैं आपको ये रिकमेंड करूंगा कि आप एक स्किल वाला जॉब ढूंढें। और ट्रस्ट मी, हॉस्पिटैलिटी में स्किल वाला जॉब इज ओनली बिकमिंग अ शेफ। अगर आप शेफ हैं, पूरे होटल में सारे जो स्किल्स होते हैं वो जो स्किल जो है वो सिर्फ शेफ के पास होता है.
Okay,
फ्रंट
sir.
ऑफिस डिपार्टमेंट है, हाउसकीपिंग है, फाइनेंस है, लॉन्ड्री है, अलग अलग सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग है. स्किल जो है वो सिर्फ शेफ के पास होता है. सिर्फ शेफ एक स्किल जॉब है होटल्स के अंदर, क्विक सर्विस रेस्टोरेंट के अंदर, किस पूरी हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री में. And rest of the things, they all work around the skill of the chef. What sales and marketing person is doing is he's trying to sell the restaurants and bar, but eventually restaurant and bars are the skill of a chef. I mean, bar, of course, bartender is a skill job. Like I was a bartender. Bartender was still a skill job.
Yes, sir.
तो आप ऐसा जॉब ढूंढे जो स्किल्ड है. तो अगर आप मुझसे पूछें कि फ्रंट ऑफिस या किचन में से क्या चूज किया जाए, मैं आपको किचन चूज करने के लिए रेकमेंड करूंगा. और किचन भी बहुत वाइड फील्ड है. किचन में इतने सारे कुजीन्स हैं, मतलब इंडियन कुजीन नहीं है उसमें कि आप इंडियन, अगर आप इंडियन कुजीन भी अगर सीखना चाहे ना, ट्रस्ट में जो मुगलई कुजीन है और जो लेट्स से हैदराबादी कुजीन है, बहुत बहुत अलग है. उसके फाइन डिटेल्स जो आपको सीखने पड़ेंगे, जो आप जब आप खुद खाना बनाएंगे, एक डिश बनाएंगे, वो डिश को परफेक्ट करने में भी बहुत बहुत टाइम लगता है. तो आप, आई वुड से चूज किचन वेरी फ्लैटली.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We'll take one last question because I think we are over time now. Manjula ji has a question. Vikram ji, my question is regarding being a franchisor of a brand. Example, Chef Papa's restaurant. So people who become franchisor, are they from some hotel background? If not, then how is the quality maintained?
Sorry, once again, what do you mean by franchisee? Can I have a question?
A hotel chain can have their franchisees. They can give it, outsource it to others who are running it with their brand name. So her question is, if somebody who is not coming from the hotel background and they take this, outsourcing or the franchise, outlet for a brand, how do they maintain the quality?
See, again, franchisee is simply franchisee happens in two ways. One is you take the brand name and then you run it by yourself. The second version of franchisee is you take the brand name as well as the management of the particular brand. For example, if you have your own hotel which has, let's say, 100 rooms, and you want to run that as a business, as a hotel business, so there are two options you have. You will take a Marriott franchisee where you will take a Marriott brand and pay them a certain amount of fee. The second way of running that hotel, 100-room hotel, is you ask Marriott to give you a brand name of Marriott and run by the Marriott also. So there are two ways of doing that franchising.
Okay. So in first case, I think her question is, how do we, maintain the quality, and do we need to again, when we're taking a brand but not management?
So if you're taking a brand and not a management, is, for example, again coming back to the same example, Marriott will give you a certain set of standard which they call as standard operating procedures. Those standard operating procedures will be there for all the departments, front office, food and beverage, or different divisions. For everything, they will have a certain standard which Marriott has set in. Now, they will give you that complete manual of that operating procedure, and they will give it to you because now you are a franchisee owner of or a brand owner of Marriott, and then it's on you to read all that and then implement it in your hotel. What Marriott will do is eventually, let's say once in a year, when it is time for them to to collect their fee, before that they will come to you and they will check whether you are following their standard operating procedures or not, and then they will give you a list of things, a list of answers that yes, these are the pointers where you are following standard operating procedures, and here you all are not. They will give you the results. Then it's again up to you whether again to follow those standard operating procedures to remain as that brand of the Marriott. If you are deviating too much in terms of following those operating procedures, then Marriott can question of taking that franchisee back or give you a further support of their team to make sure that you follow the standard operating procedures. ये तो बात हुई कि when you take only the franchisees. But if you're taking the brand as well as the management of Marriott, then yes, it's completely Marriott's responsibility to make sure those standard operating procedures are followed in your hotel. Now, why those standard operating procedures? Because Marriott as a brand, they follow these operating procedures in all the hotels across the world. They follow it to make sure that their product as a hospitality is consistent everywhere. That's why the standard operating procedures. So I hope it answers your question.
Yes, sir. I think it was very perfect. So it was a really insightful session, for all of us, and the students. They all would have benefited from this. Definitely, we will also be, sharing the recording. We'll keep it on our SBA YouTube channel. So in future, everybody who follows SBA, I'm sure in next few years, lakhs of people will go through this and they will benefit from this. So really, and a very, very
Right.
kind
So
gesture.
yeah, for the students, my email is here. If they have any questions, I mean, this is one presentation from our, a general presentation from our side. अगर किसी भी स्टूडेंट के पास कोई और क्वेश्चन हो जो उनके स्पेसिफिक हो, जो वो पूछना चाहते हो, because in your college in present generation and present time, they might have a different questions than what we are teaching them actually. So अगर किसी के पास कुछ और क्वेश्चन हो तो कृपया मुझे मेल लिखें and I will try to get in touch with you and try and explain and solve it for you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And I think in future we'll be organizing more connects between you and the students so that they benefit more.
Right.
And thanks a lot for your time again.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.